All right, so you ready for this? Lakers and Pelicans tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And we are going deep on this matchup to give you guys the ultimate pregame breakdown.
Absolutely.
We're talking stats,
Yeah.
recent performance player updates, the whole 9 yards.
It's going to be a good one for sure. I think we got two teams that are on the rise.
Yeah.
Both with really explosive offenses and star power to spare.
No doubt. But here's the thing that's really got me intrigued.
Okay.
The Pelicans have been on fire lately, but can they handle the Lakers' much improved defense, especially with LeBron back in playoff mode?
That is the question, isn't it? To answer that, I think we need to start with just like how each team's been playing overall.
Right.
I think the Lakers have definitely shaken off that off start that they had.
Yeah, it's like night and day.
Yeah.
Remember how out of sync they looked early on? And now LeBron and Anthony Davis are back in the groove.
Right.
Their defense is stifling the ball, is moving beautifully on offense.
And on the Pelican side, well, Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram have been playing lights out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're a huge reason why this team has become such a threat in the West.
The Zion has been unstoppable when healthy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But speaking of health, hasn't that been kind of an issue for the Pelicans?
It has. Injuries have definitely been a factor for them. And that brings up a key point, I think, for you to consider. Can they stay healthy enough to keep this momentum going against a Lakers team that's finally hit its stride?
That is a great point. Now let's look back at their recent head-to-head matchups.
Okay.
The last 5 games has been absolute nail-biters.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, each game has come down to the wire with both teams just trading blows.
Yeah.
Incredible to watch.
Remember that game back in April?
Oh, yeah.
Lakers squeezed out a 112-105 win. Then the Pelicans answered right back with a 108-107 victory in March.
Back and forth.
Talk about it back and forth.
Uh-huh.
Then in January, the Lakers took it 121-110, but the Pelicans responded again with a 115-110 win in December. And finally, who can forget that nail-biter last November where the Lakers barely edged them out 114-107? I know.
The takeaway here is that these teams are incredibly evenly matched. I mean, every possession, every rebound, every free throw, it all matters when these two teams face off.
For sure. Now, in terms of recent performance, the Lakers are coming off a pretty solid win against the Kings. LeBron had another classic LeBron game, 28 points, 8 assists.
And you can't overlook Anthony Davis's impact in that game.
Right.
He had a double 23 points and 12 rebounds. He was an absolute wall on defense.
Meanwhile, the Pelicans took down the Timberwolves. And let me tell you, Zion was on another level. He put up a dominant 30-point performance.
Ingram had a great game as well. 22 points, 7 assists, really showcasing his all-around game. So here's something to keep in mind as we head into tonight's matchup.
Okay.
Both teams are coming off wins, and their star players are in top form.
Right.
That sets the stage for what could be a truly epic showdown.
Absolutely. All right, let's dive into some player news.
Okay.
For the Lakers, well, LeBron's doing what LeBron does, dominating, and AD is anchoring that defense like we just talked about.
D'Angelo Russell has been a bit of a mixed bag lately.
Yeah.
Solid playmaking, but his shooting can be a bit inconsistent.
Now, for the Pelicans, the big story is obviously Zion's explosive return from injury.
Ingram's scoring has been as reliable as ever, but the big question mark right now is C.J. McCollum.
Oh, yeah.
He's dealing with a minor injury, and his status for tonight is uncertain.
Yeah, his availability could be a major factor in this game.
Exactly. If he's out, it really hurts the Pelicans' bench scoring. They'll be forced to lean even more heavily on Zion and Ingram to carry the load offensively.
Let's shift gears and talk about some broader team updates. It seems like the Lakers have finally solved those depth issues that plagued them early on.
They have guys like Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura have really stepped up and are providing valuable minutes off the bench.
Yeah, they're bringing that spark and energy, especially when the starters need a breather.
And that takes a lot of pressure off LeBron and Davis, allowing them to conserve their energy for those crucial moments down the stretch.
On the flip side, the Pelicans' lack of depth, especially if McCollum is out, could really be their Achilles heel tonight.
It's true. Their success hinges a lot on their star duo, Zion and Ingram.
If one of them gets into foul trouble or has an off night, it puts a ton of pressure on the rest of the team to step up.
And against a team like the Lakers, who are now deeper and more balanced, that could spell trouble for the Pelicans.
All right, so the question everyone wants answered, who's going to win this thing?
Well, the prediction from the sources we've looked at leans toward a Lakers victory.
Right.
They've got the home court advantage, and their defense has been stifling lately.
But you can't discount the Pelicans' offensive firepower.
No.
Zion and Ingram can light up any team on any given night.
That's absolutely true. We're probably looking at a high-scoring back-and-forth affair. I'm leaning towards the Lakers, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Pelicans pulled off an upset.
So here's the bottom line for you. This game is going to be tight, probably high scoring, and it all comes down to whether the Lakers defense can contain that explosive Pelicans offense.
It's a classic clash of styles, and the outcome is anyone's guess.
I'm already on the edge of my seat.
Me too. It's going to be a thriller.
Now here's what we want to know from you. What are your predictions for this matchup? Who do you think will come out on top? And why? Let us know. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
You know, something else I find kind of intriguing about this matchup is the contrasting leadership styles of LeBron and Zion.
Oh, that's a great point. You've got LeBron, the veteran leader, years of experience under his belt, and a knack for making everyone around him better.
He's the floor general, the strategist. You can see him out there constantly analyzing, thinking a few steps ahead.
Then you have Zion, who leads more by example, just through his sheer power and athleticism on the court.
He's that energizer bunny, the force of nature who inspires his teammates to match his intensity.
It's such a fascinating contrast. LeBron's leadership is very cerebral, while Zion's is more about that raw emotion and energy.
Exactly, and I think it'll be interesting to see how these different leadership styles play out tonight. Will LeBron's experience and court vision give the Lakers that edge?
Or will Zion's raw talent and infectious energy be enough to carry the Pelicans to victory?
These are the kind of questions that make this matchup so compelling.
It's not just about the stats or the X's and O's. It's about those intangible qualities that these players bring to the game.
And that's what makes basketball so captivating. It's a blend of physical skill, mental toughness, leadership, all these elements intertwined.
Speaking of mental toughness, both of these teams have faced their fair share of adversity this season.
Right.
The Lakers had that slow start, and the Pelicans have been battling injuries.
And it's worth noting how they've responded to those challenges. I think it says a lot about their character. The Lakers, for example, they showed real resilience in fighting back to find their form.
And the Pelicans have been gritty, staying competitive even when they've been shorthanded due to injuries.
Those experiences have undoubtedly forged a sense of unity and determination within each team. They've had to dig deep and find that extra gear.
Absolutely, and that kind of mental fortitude can be a huge factor in a close game, especially in the playoffs.
No doubt about it. Now, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about the Lakers' improved depth. It's been a game changer for them this season.
For sure. Guys like Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura have been making big-time contributions off the bench.
They're providing that spark when the starters need a rest, and they're doing it consistently.
And I think that's huge for the Lakers because it takes some of the pressure off LeBron and Davis, allowing them to conserve energy for crunch time.
Exactly. It gives them a level of flexibility they didn't have earlier in the season.
Now, on the other side of the court, the Pelicans' lack of depth, especially if McCollum can't go tonight, could be a real problem for them.
It's a valid concern. They rely heavily on Zion and Ingram to carry the offensive load.
And if one of them gets into foul trouble or has an off night, it puts immense pressure on the rest of the team to pick up the slack.
Against a team like the Lakers, who are now deeper and more balanced, that could be a recipe for disaster.
It's like a chess match out there with both coaches trying to anticipate the other's moves and make adjustments accordingly.
Exactly. It'll be fascinating to see how the coaching battle unfolds tonight. Will the Lakers' depth and balanced attack prove to be too much for the Pelicans' star-driven offense?
Or will Zion and Ingram be able to overcome the odds and carry their team to victory? Lots of questions, and we'll get those answers soon enough.
Absolutely. We'll be right here breaking it all down for you as the game unfolds.
You know, prepping for this deep dive, what's really jumped out at me is the evolution we've seen from both these teams.
Yeah, it is impressive how they've adapted and adjusted throughout the season to get where they are now.
The Lakers stumbling out of the gate then, finding their rhythm. It speaks to their experience, that championship DNA they have.
Absolutely. They've been there, they know the pressure, and they weren't afraid to tweak things to get back on track. That's a valuable lesson for any team, and even for you as a fan thinking about how you approach challenges.
And the Pelicans dealing with all those injuries, yet they're still a force to be reckoned with that's got to earn them some respect around the league.
Resilience, plain and simple, that determination to succeed no matter the obstacles, it's something you can't teach.
And let's be real, Zion's return has been huge. It's like their whole game plan shifted the moment he stepped back on the court.
He's a highlight reel waiting to happen, single-handedly capable of changing the momentum of a game. But we can't forget, it's not just about individual talent. It's about how these teams function as a unit.
Right, and that's where coaching comes in. Both these coaches have done an incredible job maximizing their players' strengths minimizing weaknesses. It's like a puzzle they've been figuring out all season.
It's a testament to their strategic thinking and that ability to adapt on the fly in a game as fast-paced as basketball. That adaptability is crucial.
So we're on the verge of tip-off.
Yeah.
The energy's building.
Yeah.
What are the key factors, in your opinion, that'll decide tonight's outcome?
For the Lakers, it's maintaining that defensive intensity we've been talking about, containing Zion and Ingram, limiting their drives to the basket, forcing them into tough shots. That's going to be huge.
And on offense, the Lakers can't get stagnant. They need to keep the ball moving, find the open man, avoid falling into the trap of relying too heavily on isolation plays.
On the Pelicans side, it's about harnessing that offensive firepower they need to push the pace, attack the basket relentlessly, and get to the free throw line. Turn this game into a track meet if they can.
And they cannot afford to become solely reliant on Zion and Ingram. Role players need to step up, especially if McCollum is out. Otherwise, the Lakers can just key in on those two stars.
It's a game of matchups, adjustments, those momentum swings that can turn the tide in an instant.
And at the end of the day, it might just come down to who wants it more, who's willing to dig deeper, fight harder for every possession.
You're right. It's going to be an epic battle clash of styles, a testament to the heart and soul of these two teams.
So there you have it. We've broken down the stats, analyzed the matchups, explored the narrative surrounding this highly anticipated game. Now it's time for the players to take center stage and let their actions speak louder than words. Enjoy the game, and let us know who you think will win and why.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive, breaking down the most exciting matchups and giving you the insights you need to stay ahead of the game.